And just when their psychic senses were starting to sense that the Inquisition is listening to us, one of them stepped forward and called you out explicitly. That is when one of your agents spoke out. You were indeed in the room, and you had access to the meeting, as they sensed. They know now that you know everything they've planned, but they are still going on this expedition, and they have the explorator fleets. They have the Mechanicus serving them, and they have an alliance of sorts, and they have the rogue traders. They of course believe they're acting in the best interests of humanity. And as you leave the space station, your Inquisitor and the Inquisition is determined to be first. Where you're going is unknown, but it is the most ancient legend of the sector. Derulis Apocrypha has written about a forbidden world where the sector lords have hidden a sin so deep that it cursed the entire sector. There is a warp storm that threatens the sector and is currently surrounding it, and if it spreads, it could threaten all of humanity. You are currently severely limited in your reach and power as the Inquisition. Your agents have been tricked, lured into ambushes, killed off in a series of clever maneuvers that could be of Xeno origin, or maybe even the Navigators or some other force. But you have managed to come through, and you are leaving first with the aid of Bravazum, one of the great houses. The acolytes, Ricard, Adam, Tin, Samuel, and Ripsaw are going up the ramp now. You're in a large hangar. Imagine like a Star Wars scene, just these huge cruisers lined up side by side, ginormous, like an airport or something. Just this unbelievably large space, lights everywhere, thousands of troops boarding these vessels. Strange alien beings, psychers, various abhumans and mutants, the failed genetic strains of the Navigator houses brought out from the pits, hobbling across the floor on board these huge vessels. And there is the Inquisition, which they are unable to interfere with. They have overwhelming firepower, and all attempts of the various commissars and acolytes to go over to them and engage in some kind of commanding order has failed. They have effectively taken this mission upon themselves and are more or less ignoring your presence. Beyond, of course, allowing you access, allowing you to board their ships and inspect the various abhumans and mutants they have. You have been given orders by the Inquisitor to not interfere, to not cause trouble with the Navigator houses. The alien threat is, after all, much greater, and you have to weigh your cost and risk here. As you stand on the ramp, you will look out and see another Inquisitor, the Radical Inquisitor, only codenamed Icarus. He has his warband joined with the Navigator houses. They seem to have made an agreement with him as well. He will board one of their cruisers. And as you stand on the ramp, you can look across the floor and you can see him looking up at you. And he will do a slight nod and a smile. And he has these piercing, shark-like eyes as he looks at you with glee and walks on board the ship. You will slowly walk on board the unmarked ship, that void ship that you've been directed to. And as you enter, you recognize immediately the familiar surroundings of the Inquisitorial cruiser. Endless hallways, impossible labyrinths, subdecks and pathways that no one has explored. It is impossibly large. It has grown like a city, with endless subdecks, abandoned sections, collapsed hallways, empty decks. It's nearly impossible to explore beyond the immediate rooms you have access to. Everything is lit with dim lumen. The walls are dark metal, symbols of flame, hammer, protective wards painted on every wall. As you walk through the halls, you can just hear your boots on the metal grit floor. You've never even seen the bridge, but you assume that it would entail a few days of exploration. As you enter your quarters, you can hear the warp drive, the engine room, and occasional calls from the crew in the hangar bay. You have a luxurious room. It has been moved slightly since the last time you were here. From time to time you can hear the voice of a lady captain who has been replaced by the former captain who died. And occasionally life support and servitors crew will rush by with wounded, as you realize that hundreds of people have given their lives for your operation. Those of you who are especially pious might have walked around in the throne room, which is further down the hall from your cabin, and become familiar with the confessor. He is currently replaced with the Archconfessor Kane, who takes confessions near an imperial shrine in a small library. He is a man of few words, but at least the shrine area offers some peace from the noise and the horror of the ship. You're also near a supply room staffed by an ex-guard acolyte named Quintinius. Quintinius, the Archconfessor, and Archon are your personal aides and have kind of a parental role. You sense that they know more than they share, and you sit at night in your cabin. The room is black at night. You can just see the stars from these round windows as they slowly drift. There are rugged metal surfaces and a small sort of storage compartment for you to store your personal stuff. There are more than enough candles, decaf, and drinks for you to enjoy yourselves, and chairs. Ecclesiarchical robes, holding servants and walking through the hallways. And as you wait to be called to the Inquisitor on the bridge, that's where we can begin. You are in the room, on your beds. You've just spent a couple of days resting. And as you wake up, Tin Ulti. How has your character changed in appearance since you boarded the ship? Had a rest and so.
So he hasn't really changed too much. It's very clear that he's dumped the robes that he had previously stolen from the navigator houses when he was trying to sort of wander around sneak around and move around unseen. He does still have the stealth suit on, as he's this is sort of like the only decent thing that he has, and it's sort of homemade. But he has removed the goggles, and he has taken the hood off for the moment, as he feels that there is a moderate kind of safety, since there are this Inquisitor bloke is on the ship, so he kind of has to trust at some point, otherwise he's going to lose it. His backpack is resting against the side of the bed, with a lot of various sort of things strewn out on the floor nearby. A couple of things within reach, the pistol being within reach, as well as the picked quarter. But for the most part, he's kind of in what he was originally, just a bit more laid back, without everything kind of already on and ready for action. Sort of as he looks around.
Perfect. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's all.
And Tavi. Adam. Okay, then Commissar Reichert. What do we see when you wake up?
Will jump off his bed, what I call it, at the first sign of movement, scan the room, and realizing that it's essentially time to get up, flick a straight razor, and what I call it, give himself a cold shave, with a couple of splashes on his what I call face. He will then on his overcoat and put on his peaked cap, and will look at the other people in the dorm and say, "Okay, gentlemen, let's be at it."
Awesome. Adam?
Adam will be suddenly aroused from his sleep as this promisor's shouting voice can be heard. He wasn't even awake. He had a long day yesterday, and all of the quote-unquote excitement, terror, and sheer dread he has faced up until now has made him most tired. As he's rose from his sleep, he would still have his bedrobes on, as well as a very tired and life-drained face.
Awesome. That's where we can begin. You're in your personal quarters.
On your feet.
I already am, Commissar, as Tin sort of collects all of his stuff and briefly sort of looks up before quickly putting the goggles back on, and notably putting it over his face again to sort of cover his face once again and just sort of completely mask himself.
Is your name Adam?
I didn't hear the Adam part.
So the answer is no. On your feet, Adam.
Yes, Adam basically has to crawl himself out of bed. Eventually he manages to do so, but you see as his, well, aka lifeless, as it were, body just flops to the floor. He is breathing. He hasn't injured himself, but he looks tired as sin. Oh, 5 more minutes.
What pathetic. You can't even call you a man. He sent me women whenever I asked for sons.
You should have filled the right form then, sir.
You're a disgrace.
Alright, just give me some time to get on my feet.
And at this stage, what he called Rickard's going to slap him across the face, the back of the hand.
You'll have to bend down.
It's fine. Goes.
You'll have to bend down. He's literally sprawled on the floor.
On your feet.
I would, sir, but I feel like my feet don't work. I've run so much last time. And the plasma shot has not helped at all.
You'll hear what he called the cocking of a bolt pistol and the sliding out.
Hey, stop that! He's one of us! We had a really tough day and he got shot in the leg because of it. I patched it up as best I could, but leave him be! And I'm gonna walk over and try and help him up.
Awesome. You get an inspiration point.
Look, Commissar, I know that we had a stressful time yesterday and we went against what you wanted to happen, but we lived, and as far as I can tell, we haven't been executed by our superiors by what we did. I don't think it's best for any of us for our continued survival if we're going to start loading rounds against each other, okay?
Who do you think you're speaking to?
I don't know.
I'm not. Stand down.
To be honest, sir, you're the only one with a gun in his hand. Now, I don't want to be fighting with the people who apparently I'm going to be working with. And, hell, we've all been shot at when we were in the same room together. If this is what we're going to have to work with, and this is what I'm going to have to work with, then so be it. But let's not start things off on the second day with that. And he points towards the bolt pistol. Alright? I'm sorry, I'm not a member of the Astra Militarum. Neither is he. Alright, we're not soldiers, and the only reason I'm up is because I'm just used to being up this early thanks to the Mechanicus. Alright? So, let's calm down, and let's see what we have to do. We've got data, we've got footage. He holds up the picked quarter that he had grabbed as he'd woken up. So I'm sure we've got a lot to do before we arrive at this planet. I mean, for God's sakes, we're up against the Navigator houses.
Also, Rickard is just going to stare at you with dead eyes. One.
After you had got yourself to the ship, sir, we were able to infiltrate into the Navigator houses. It was all a bit of a rush. We would have got to you earlier and updated you on the situation, but to be honest, as Adam said, we had a hell of a time getting out. It turns out, from what we heard, that the Navigator houses are planning to secede from the Imperium. They have banded together somehow, and they are deciding that once we have passed through this rift, this portal, and we're on the other side, away from Imperial authority, they're going to use their connections within the fleet, and Emperor knows what else that they're planning on the side with these potential Xenos elements that they've been working with. And they are going to cut us off. And they're going to be...
You have informed who?
We haven't been able to inform anyone, sir. We got onto the ship trying to escape them. Adam here, in fact, it was Adam. Adam planned to almost sacrifice himself to try and get that information out. He tried to get closer so that he was able to read some of their minds, but in the heat of the moment, he had to reveal himself. And he gave us time to escape, sir.
This lackadaisical person was going to sacrifice his life.
Yes, sir. Without question. But from what we understand and from the information that we've gathered, we haven't been able to look at it again. I was hoping that we were going to be able to find a cogitator somewhere secure on this ship, as well. Navigators are on every ship, aren't they? And I was hoping that we would be able to look through the meeting as, and he holds out the picked recorder, as I recorded everything that I could from my vantage point. It's not the best angle, but it captured all of the audio of the meeting, so you will be able to hear what they've said, and we'll be able to correlate our reports. And once we're on the other side, we're probably going to have to inform this Inquisitor that's on this vessel, if anyone, but we're going to have to be careful. It's clear that they've planned this for a long time, and they have elements that we don't understand, and, well, whoever the previous ones were that we've replaced, they clearly weren't careful enough. We're going to have to play this very hush-hush, sir.
Okay, then, Acolyte, why don't we inform the Inquisitor now, before we go through the porthole?
If you have communications with them, sir, I wasn't able to. We didn't see them until much later during the day, and by then exhaustion had kicked in, as Adam said.
Excellent. You will read in your logs that the Inquisitor has been injured. The way they write it is that he was injured in a battle, defending his acolytes, the warband. He was cowardly ambushed by servants of the cult of Sadok. However, he of course survived with the help of the Emperor, and his body is still with us in a weakened form, but his spirit is as strong as ever. You also have a personal cogitator in the room with you.
So, if you want to corroborate our operations after you made your way to the ship, sir, he holds out the picked recorder, connect it to the cogitator, see the data for yourself, and we can figure out what we provide to this Inquisitor. And then you're all caught up.
I'm not a sir. I work for a living.
Alright then. What do I call you then?
You can call me my name.
Rickard, yes?
Correct.
Alright then, I'll call you that. I merely wanted to try and make sure that you didn't think that I was ignoring your previous authority. I'm not trying to undermine you here, Rickard, but...
You're an acolyte, are you not?
I think I am. To be honest, I'm not quite sure where I stand.
As am I. We are the same.
Then we don't treat him any differently either. He points to Adam again.
Remains to be seen.
How is Adam doing, by the way, with us having this little argument? I'm just kind of looking to him, because obviously he did take the plasma bolt to the fucking leg.
He's trying to test how far he can run, by putting some weight on his leg. He can put some weight, it's just that when he's moving, there's, a bit, the muscles must have contracted and expanded a bit too sudden, and it's like his movement is slow. You would guess from the way he shifts his body, his movement would be way slower than the blistering speed you've seen him last. Most likely either due to sheer terror and adrenaline, he managed to run so fast to the ship.
If you need it, before I got picked up by the Inquisition, I was able to find some doses of Obscura from my previous world. I hang on to them because I was thinking maybe I could turn them into some kind of less powerful pain medication. If you'd like, I can try and focus on that and see if I can provide something for the pain if the medical station on board isn't going to provide you with something for that.
Oh, no, I wouldn't dare. Besides, the Inquisitor wants to see me as well. If I show up under the influence of Obscura, well,
No. I don't want to give you it directly. I want to be able to synthesize it, see if I can turn it into something a bit less, painful and illegal.
it really depends on the planet. Some planets even sponsor this, but they are mining worlds. However, don't worry. I just need to take a shower, clean the bandages you gave me, and just take some normal pain medication that priest offered.
Okay. No. Well, I think we could all do with a shower and food. So, shall we find whatever kind of canteen they may have around this place, get that, and report to the Inquisitor as soon as we've got some food in ourselves and we're all washed and ready, and then we can make our best presentation that we can.
The community is a few corridors down. It's mainly used only by acolytes, but very important such individuals as liaisons. The calcium bars are high quality, I can guarantee you that.
So that sounds like a plan. And then you can present our report, Rickard. I'll be honest. I don't want to be the forefront for it, considering that I've already managed to, do all of this. I don't think I'd be able to word it as best that you could for someone in such high authority. I think you'd probably be more used to it.
As I have been absent for a while, I don't believe that I am the best person to deliver this, I would say, report, but this failure.
Looks up at you. It looks up at you, Tim, and says, "Looks like you draw the short straw."
All right. Okay. All right. All right. Well, let's. I guess get showered, dressed, and try and make sure that we don't look like a bunch of scruffy people for an Inquisitor.
While showering, Adam will say, "Don't worry, Tim. The Inquisitor doesn't torture his acolytes. Only sometimes. No pressure."
I don't know how any of this works, and I'm just going off of the horror stories you hear as a citizen. So I don't want to take the risk,
Never seen him in my life, and I'm pretty sure that if the stories are correct, we'll both die.
Well, Emperor protects, and Tin will kind of try and pull his uniform. It's like when you're trying to straighten up a suit to make it look good, but it's a fucking body tight suit, so he's just scuffling it a little bit, not really helping out of awkwardness as he tries to make his way out of the room towards the canteen to get food.
Excellent.
Adam will soon follow, but he will say that he has Tin, Reinhardt, I have a bit of a business. I will join you in the canteen in a later date. Please, do make sure to reserve a table and save me a seat.
Can I do a little bit of an eyebrow raise and see what you mean by business?
He's planning on taking a low stick break.
Oh dear, fair enough.
And he's afraid of the sight, that it's not it's unsightly for a administrator worker to do so, as it affects productivity.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Do you have a lighter, perchance? It's regarding another issue I have to deal with.
Looks to the flamer that's on his bed still.
It will work. I'll bring it back. I just need a pilot flip.
Quick question, GM. Does the multi-tool have a little plasma torch thing, maybe?
That will be the cutter, laser cut. That's a separate.
Okay, that's all fine. All right, no problem. Yeah, he'll just go. Yeah, that's the smallest one I got. Sorry.
I'll make do. Oh, come on, go ahead.
He'll take the flamer and pass it to you. He won't throw the damn thing.
He will quickly grab it and exit the room and go down the corridor opposite of the canteen. Of the common canteen.
Are you going to join me, Ricard, for some breakfast?
No, I don't think so. I've already eaten.
All right, okay. And Din will sort of take that as a piss off kind of statement and head off towards the canteen on his own.
Excellent. Yeah, you can sit around and watch the various servants of the Imperium here. They will take note of your presence, and a servitor will be given to you to provide whatever you need. There are also other servants of the Inquisition here.
Okay. Last time there, can I get a sort of general vibe for the kind of general morale of the people here? We all just kind of held with bated breath. Does it feel like everyone's a bit ignorant, or does it feel like a lot of people kind of know that the shit's going south right now?
Or how would you like to approach that?
I'm not going to talk to them. I'm just kind of, Tin's classic kind of in the corner looking at people. Kind of stuff.
You're reading their general atmosphere, their state of mind.
Maybe listening, eavesdropping into conversations that are close enough to eavesdrop on.
Go ahead and do a fellowship test to see what you can read from their body language and faces, and maybe overhear a few words of a conversation.
All right. 2 degrees of success because I rolled an 11.
Very nice. There is some talk of a now abandoned operation carried out by the Assassinorum. Everyone knows that they dodged a bullet. In hushed tones you will hear across these well-lit benches, where you can see everything from inquisitorial servants to tech priests eating, that the Inquisitor hired the Assassinorum, or used them to get rid of any loose ends. Everyone in this room was carefully vetted and has narrowly survived the process. So the Inquisitor is absolutely certain of their loyalty. There is an added sense of camaraderie and loyalty as a result. Everyone who looks at each other as you pass each other on the way to the recaf machine, you give a friendly smile and a nod. Any hesitation of your loyalty has been lifted. You know that everyone here survived this very narrow vetting process.
Wasn't aware of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear open talk about that around
Yeah.
the tables.
Tin's just gonna try and focus on eating what food he can and trying to hold it down. Sort of the sense of, wow, I could have just straight up been assassinated at any point in time, huh?
Fork trembling in your hand, the gem falling off.
Yeah.
Classic. Yeah, no. You recognize a few faces from the Inquisition, a few acolytes that you've heard talk of and seen in your reports. One of them is an Ogren, large hulking guy. A man with dark hair and a navy uniform will walk over and whisper something in his ear and then walk away. You sit there and just take in the atmosphere. And yeah, anyone who wants to join him as well.
You're gonna hear something come over the Vox. It's gonna be Rickard saying, "There is Duskin's body."
Where are you and where are you saying this?
Saying this from called the don't know what it'd be called. Basically the library sort of / church.
The throne room. Okay. So you would enter the throne room. As you enter, and by the way, does anyone want to join him? I'm assuming you've all had lunch and all that. No? Okay.
Yeah. I'll keep an eye on him as so I'm kind of just in the background, not really directly participating, just
At some point
Or
you
just-
wander down the corridors and find your way to the dark alleyways leading to the throne room. There is a shrine ahead of you, and you can see the Archconfessor praying over a large tome as you enter. There are candles everywhere, chandeliers in the ceiling, and through the left as you walk down these corridors meant to imitate some great temple somewhere. You look down these stone slabs, massive stone slabs, and see a giant librarium that has been built adjacent to the little shrine that Kane is praying on. It is eerily silent.
And as Rickard walks down, all you hear is click, 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 till he actually comes to the head and goes, "Where is his body?"
The confessor will slowly turn around with a raised eyebrow.
Askin, where is his body?
He looks at you kind of like an upset parent. Then you can see his eyebrow sort of falling down again, and he's drawing a breath. Ah, you're the commissar. This is a place of prayer and peace. I wish that you lower your voice while you're here. Is that understood?
Understood.
The Emperor is always listening. Come to me, child. He will turn around. He has a closed fist in one of his hands and several large rings. He sort of walks to meet you.
Well.
Well?
There. That's it.
You're looking for one of the dead acolytes. Why?
So that I can honor them.
Do you believe the soul remains in a dead body? Have you heard of the Emperor?
It makes no difference. Sometimes
His body is an empty vessel now. Seeing it would make no difference.
returning it to his home world will.
He will straighten up, and you can see a very stern expression on his face.
You do not
this...
understand, do you?
Ah, yes. Customs and all that. Go ahead and roll a fellowship test. You can do... as you have this little conversation with him, you can choose to do a lore test for the militarum. To explain to him how important this is.
The Imperial Guard.
Mm-hmm.
So, success with one.
He kind of is just leaned back now with one eye closed slowly. You can see his head sort of tilting down in towards his chin. Ah, very well. See Archon in the Medicae room.
That's good. Because if not, you would not have this discussion with me. You would have this discussion with her.
You will find in time that your attitude needs an adjustment. I hope for your sake you will realize it before it is too late.
Perhaps.
He will grab one of his Imperial cult symbols, wrap an emblem into his hand, and with a clenched fist he will turn around. He is not he's not very charmed by you. You can see this from the back, Ulti.
Yeah, I'm not going to interact. I'm just kind of keeping tabs as I'm a bit worried about this commissar.
As I said, large librarium. The Archconfessor is standing in front of you praying. What do you do?
For me, nah, it's not really my choice. We're with friends here, so you know what? Fuck it. We're meant to be around friends at the moment. He is going to go up towards Kane, and he is going to. Is he sort of up next to the altar, or is he sort of in one of the pews where he's accessible?
He is completely accessible. He has his back turned to you, and he's leaning over a shrine and praying.
He will join Kane in prayer for the moment, and he will just very quietly go, "I'm sorry to disturb you, Confessor. I need to ask, what was that about? I was alerted by it with a lot of shouting through my microbead."
He will slowly again close the book, turn around to face you, and will exhale deeply. I am afraid not everyone has studied the ancient tomes. They do not know that once a body is dead, the Emperor has claimed their soul. The body has no meaning. It can be used to fuel this ship for all I care. If only they would listen.
I must admit my own ignorance of the passages of the Lectitio Divinitatis. I went to every sermon that I could, but I never learnt High Gothic, and our local priest tended to speak many of his sermons in it. I took it to heart as much as I could, but I have to admit I am ignorant of these facts. Problem being, of course, is that that gentleman, the commissar, he works with us, and I fear, pardon the intrusion, from the raised voices I heard part of the conversation. I am concerned, like you are, for his temper and his willingness to rely on aggression to get what he needs done.
He sort of is gonna squint, look to see that the door is closed behind the commissar, and will put a hand on your shoulder. Your humble approach is most welcome. Come, join me in prayer. And you will see several choir members begin to sing as the Archconfessor lights some incense starts to fill the room. He will lean over the book and begin to chant. You are encouraged by him to join him. Do you want to try to sing with him?
Badly, yes. Sure.
Okay. Do a lore test for Ecclesiarchy.
I don't have that. Oh wait, no, yes
10.
I do. Yes I do.
Okay. Minus
Yes I
10.
do. Holy shit! I
Wow.
passed.
Well, you didn't embarrass yourself in church. That's nice. So you're gonna mumble along to the singing. You don't remember every phrase, but the Archconfessor makes no hint that he cares whether or not you remember the text. However, after you finish, you can see him just singing along, and you feel the Emperor's presence. Perhaps for the first time in your life, the room is filled with a very special atmosphere. You feel light as a feather, light-headed. As you look around, the room is just filled with this incense, and you can see the burning candles flickering in the distance. You breathe in the incense, and in the midst of all the chanting, you feel euphoric. You will be able to speak with the Archconfessor after this, as you're standing around the table. And you can bring up a topic among heraldry, Xenos, the law, or how you operate in the field. You also learn that the Archconfessor joins you on missions that are especially hazardous to sort of soothe people as troops start to die, and he sort of eases the tension in the group and so on.
He's that poor fucker who's walking around with the Bible going, in nomine spiritu patris,
Yes.
the fucking explosions are going off around him. Oh,
Exactly.
poor fucker.
Exactly.
Oh no. Okay. Tin will go. I thank you for letting me join Archconfessor. I know that it is little to alleviate the tensions that my compatriot has caused, but I would love to be able to speak to you again. Perhaps you may be able to teach me your holy language. I wish to rid myself of the ignorance that my life within the Mechanicus and the Explorator Corps has left me. If you could teach me a few words here and there, it might help me better understand.
Join me in prayer, and you will learn in time. Will you come back tomorrow?
If I am allowed to, yes, Confessor.
You see a slight smile on his face as he looks down to your chest and then up again to your face. Good. He will turn around and, before continuing his studies, feel free to explore the librarium. There is much to learn.
Thank you, Confessor. When I have finished my report with the Inquisitor, I will... Wait, no, he knows about the Inquisitor. Yes, of course he does. Part of the group. Yeah, he'll say, once I have finished my report, I will be sure to learn as much as I can.
He nods, turns around, returns to his prayer. You stand there for a little while. You feel absolutely elevated. You will regain a spent fate point if you spent any fate points.
Not yet. It's all good. Right, I'm done.
Did you use any fate points?
Not yet. Oh, wait, no, yes. Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did.
I think
I
you did.
use a fate point. Yes.
So you regain one.
Nice. Sweet.
Awesome.
While Tim has been
one last
trained.
thing. Do you want to for the rest of the day?
For the moment, yes. I've taken away enough. So.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, then. Adam, what do you want to do?
For as long as Tim has been trained with that confessor, Adam will try his best to find some reports of or scripts from acolytes talking with the Inquisitor, how they presented things to him, how they would have reported to him in a acceptable manner, and he would like to compile them to hand them over to Tim for better results.
You will enter the Inquisitor's war room. It contains all the reports from previous missions, acolytes, agents of the Inquisition, your contacts, your allegiances. As you walk around, you take out little data strips, put them in the cogitator, and begin to read. What do you want to bring with you, specifically?
Acolytes that the Inquisitor has looked favorably upon, their personality, their mannerism, something that would betray what would please the Inquisitor's mood. What would improve the Inquisitor's mood?
Yeah, you try to sort of piece together this from the various reports and so on. You can do a scrutiny test -20.
I do this through a cogitator?
Yep. You load up the reports, start to read through them, and try to piece it together. Whether you do it now or over the coming days, doesn't matter. This check is for whether you succeed. Excellent. In time, you sort of focus on this acolyte called Stefan. He was the Inquisitor's trusted advisor and his personal bodyguard, James. And from what you gather, the only thing the Inquisitor cares about is your loyalty and whether he can depend on you over time. the more challenges you've overcome and stayed true to the Inquisition, the more temptations you've rejected, the more he trusts you.
He would he would compile this data into his one of his data slabs, basically saying, writing down, make sure you appear dependable. Be humble. No, don't be humble. Be somewhat humble, but not too much. As he reads through the report.
Nice.
And eventually he would quickly skedaddle with his robe flailing behind him towards a thing where he would see him exit the Confessor's Chambers room, or the throne room's altar.
Awesome.
And he would say, Adam, Adam has brought you something. Here's it. It will help you with the Inquisitor.
Tim will just kind of like, I assume it's going to be shoved in his chest, like out of nowhere as he's running up to him. As he goes, oh, thank you. As he looks at the various bits of paper that have been scrawled haphazardly with all of the different sort of like, do this, don't do this, like a happy face for certain behaviors, very sad, angry face for other behaviors. And he's just like, thanks. Cool.
The directions are as followed. If it's black cut by red, read the red one. If the red is cut by the green, read the green one. And I ran out of green, and then I had to use other colors. But you'll figure it out.
Yeah, I can see that you've used black on a lot of it. I'm not allowed to say a lot of black, am I?
I mean, I'm certain you won't get shot. I'm 50% certain you have nothing to worry about.
It's okay, and Rickard's definitely making sure that I know that that's always a possibility, so...
Please don't get me shot in the process as well. If you could, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
I'll try. Won't mention your name. Maybe I should mention it. Would mentioning your name be a good idea?
What is going on here?
Oh, Emperor, I forgot to check on that.
Note-taking, prepping to talk to the Inquisitor.
What are those papers?
Hints, tips and tricks,
Plan to trick your Inquisitor.
No, not to trick the Inquisitor. More, make sure that we put our best foot forward, as I'm the one doing it.
Sounds to me like you were trying to trick him. Why are you trying to trick him?
I mean, you can look at the nose as he sort of like holds them up in this sort of a messy pile in front of him with all of the various arrows and different colors on him, and just go, no, it's just Adam. He provided me with some information about what the Inquisitor likes.
Adam is involved in this too.
Well, of course. I mean, it's only available at data for any acolytes.
And it over.
Tin will hand it over.
Come on, cells, read. This is all nonsense. He's going to shove it back in your faces. Go, our acolytes. Behave like them.
Well,
I don't know how acolytes behave. I've got a very large sample size of how they behave.
Well, to be fair, Reinhardt, have you met Inquisitor?
Excuse me?
Have you met the Inquisitor up until now?
I have not. No.
Have you seen the Inquisitor?
I have not. No.
Then how do you know how to behave around him?
He is senior.
Yes, but he's senior above a lot of people, more than what you're used to, I think.
Till I'm told otherwise, I will act as I have. You understand?
Would have said something, but he turns his head and says, yes.
What do you mean by that?
That he looks left and right. That I a bit confused. That I understand. Either way, we should not keep the
Fact,
Inquisitor.
You are an acolyte. It's the only thing saving your life.
I don't want my design of Anquila breathe a sigh of relief as I. Well, the Emperor does protect.
Does until he doesn't.
Either way, should we make our way towards the Inquisitor? Present the report? We have been summoned by him.
After you, acolyte. On, hurry up.
Oh, right, yes, okay, and he'll make his way towards where the Inquisitor is.
Alrighty. We can. You will spend hours walking through the ship to reach the bridge. Yeah, plenty of time. As you walk along, you will see crew members, tech priests, also bridge. And when you approach a large door with the Aquila on it, you will see two members of the Death Watch. Unusually large men. They have their helmets off. They look down on you as you approach.
Shit.
They're wearing power armor, and one of them will give a little raise of an eyebrow and look to his friend. He will nod in your direction. As you approach, how do you want to approach these men?
Rickard will basically just stamp up.
What do you want to do, guys? How do you approach?
Sorry, what I called, I was saying Rickard will basically stomp right up to them.
As you start to approach, they will put their helmets on, and you can see a light coming from their eyes. The The door to the Inquisitor's chamber is locked over the bridge, and he will step forward. They have their weapons drawn.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Hello. We're here to deliver a report to the Inquisitor. It's rather important.
Stand aside, Astartes.
Present your identification. Present your identification.
This is my identification. He'll show his rosette.
Excellent. As you show your rosette, he will pull up a data slate that looks very tiny in his hand, and sort of turn it upside down, look at it again, look at you, and he will look down the corridor behind you.
Aren't there supposed to be more of you?
Fortunately, there was. But, well, as you know, combat takes its casualties.
Who's in charge of your warband? Commissar?
I didn't catch that.
Who's in charge?
I'm in charge.
He will just throw a glance at his brother. They will look at each other, shrug, and he will just walk over, push a button, and the door slides open. Shh.
At which point, Rickard is going to give a nod to the rest of them to move in. He stands and essentially stares down the Space Marines.
What do you guys do?
Adam would walk up to the Astartes, do the sign of the Aquila, bow to one, do the sign of the Aquila, bow to the other, bow again to the one on the right, bow again to the one on the left, and walk hurriedly through the door.
You will visibly shake his head in confusion as you walk past him.
Tin is head down, not talking, not looking at anything. Like he is as rigid as a fucking wooden board because they pointed the fucking bolters at us, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they pointed a weapon that's basically the size of Tin's torso at him. So he's just like, don't look at me, I'm not a target. I'm probably looking suspicious as fuck to anyone. He's just like, please, I don't want to be here.
Nice. You get an inspiration.
And at the end, after they both walked in, Rickard is going to look at both of them, straighten up his back, just walk in as though it was a Sunday walk in a park.
You walk into the room.
Yeah. As he walks away, I'm just going to whisper to Adam, he's fucking insane!
But have you seen how he acted to his angels? Oh. Listen, I don't want to ruin your chances, Tin, but you better have read those notes.
I'm gonna fucking die out as he's walking in, just muttering to himself.
Yeah, guys. Your time in the librarium was the opportunity to ask questions. The door closes behind you. You will see several Inquisitorial agents lined up. The Inquisitor is held up by several servitors on what looks almost like a mini scaffolding. He is hanging from several almost like racks attached to the floor. His hands stretched out, several tubes sticking out of them. His tubes sticking out of his heavy power armor. And you can see his head sort of tilting back and forth as his graying hair is slicked over to one side, wet with sweat or condensation. He moans and groans audibly. And everyone in the room, you can sense this. It's the atmosphere of someone has farted, and everybody's just looking at each other like embarrassed and looking down in the room, and these groaning noises keep going and going. As the Inquisitor struggles, two of his servants will sort of reach up and try to adjust parts of the armor, and the servitors are continuously working on medical equipment behind his back. You enter the room, and across the floor you will see several inquisitorial agents. Hector Dent's interrogator is the most senior member here, apart from the Archconfessor. What do you do? Everyone is just quiet, looking at the floor.
I will be very much behind Tin, even behind the Commissar, and say as close as possible towards Tin here, saying, "This looks bad."
I know. Are you sure you don't want to take point, Commissar? You seem very good with those Marines.
So, what is going on here?
You, as you say that, Hector Dents will violently stamp his boot on the floor, creating a loud ricochet noise. Silence! You there! Be quiet!
Why?
He gives you the stare of a Doberman mixed with pure death. He just keeps staring.
Why is my Inquisitor dying? Why is no one helping him?
Hector will rush over. I will have you removed if you do not stay silent.
He whispering as quietly as he can. He'll go, I'm sorry, what's happening?
Mr. made an ass of himself.
Hector will look at you. Damned! Our standards have dropped. You're the replacements. I can hardly believe it. But here you are. At least you put on your uniform correctly.
We tried. We were told to come here as soon as possible with our report.
Have you been debriefed?
No, we've only been able to get onto the ship after our interactions with the Navis nobility.
Have you read the reports?
Other than the ones that our Mechanicus...
By the Emperor, just stay here and
we have not been able to have
say
time
a word.
to read reports.
I told you to be quiet.
Tin's standing back. He doesn't want to piss off these people anymore.
You will have an opportunity to ask questions when the time is right. The Inquisitor is highly sensitive, so do not stand here and chatter. He will straighten up, sort of adjust his collar, and you can sense that he's trying to revive some sense of dignity to the Inquisitor, who is literally hanging from a rack dangling and making groaning noises. Hector is just straight as an arrow, looks across the floor as the Inquisitor slowly turns around. You can see his faded, old face sort of hanging from his skull. Some drool is going to fall out of his mouth.
This, Commissar is gonna, fall to his knee.
The Archconfessor will walk over to the Inquisitor, who is now standing on his own accord, and will put a hand on him. As he mutters under his breath a prayer, you will see the Inquisitor sort of close his eyes, color will return to his face. He will draw breath and look at you. Anyone sensitive to the warp can sense a warp presence near the Confessor. Speak now, my lord. Speak. The Confessor looks across the table. The Inquisitor will sort of stand there and breathe for a little while. Ah, yes. We must be brief. There is little time. The path has been set. He will turn around and look out the window. As stars are sliding by, you can see this huge shimmering portal right in front of you. As you're just about to enter it. Ah, there it is. Hand me the tome. He will stretch out a hand, and Kane will grasp a tome on the table, put it in his hands. The Inquisitor will open it and just start to flip the tables for a little while. Everyone just standing around looking at each other. If Duralis Apocrypha was known, the system would tear itself apart. He's reading out loud from a page in the book. Lies. Endless lies. His hand sort of follows the pages on the book. Lies. He looks up from the book. Lies. Purposely whispered into the air of the Inquisition from within the halls of the Administratum. It has all been a lie. The acolytes will begin to look at each other confused. If they only knew the meaning of his words. He'll close the book and look to all of you. Some of the acolytes will begin to sort of ask questions quietly. What do we do now? Is everything really foretold a lie? Where are we actually going? In the midst of this, you can't hear much. Do any of you want to try to raise a question?
We got told to not speak until spoken to, so
Okay. He will look out the windows, and you can see images of worlds and constellations on the screens some tech priests working in the background to bring up a holographic image on the table. The Inquisitor will walk over to the table. Durilli's words have been deemed heretical by the Inquisition, punishable by death. He looks up to you standing on the balcony. The Sundering, Spirenhark, everything you have read. It was planted here by them. The acolytes will again ask some questions about where they could be going. The Inquisitor will sort of slowly answer that he doesn't know. That he predicts that the someone among the navigators might know. The Inquisitor will close the book and sort of push it away from him. Durilli wrote that the planet Askellon 1 was a forbidden world, because within it lies the truth of the ancient sin of the Apex Nobles. The Apex Nobles must have known this, which is why they burned Lord Duril and his followers on Juno, long before he could be interrogated by the ancient witch hunters who came before us. Our only chance to end the pandemonium is to find the world which holds proof of the ancient sins of the prefect. If you choose to walk down this path, we may be estranged from the sector lords, or worse, our mission violates the Inquisition and the prefect's authority. His face changes to kind of this somber, sad expression. He slowly looks down. You can see him sort of lost. We must violate our own codes.
So,
Sorry, kid is crying. Give me 5-10 minutes. You guys can talk amongst each other.
that's good, because I need to go for a pee.
But yeah, Tim, how bad do you think it is?
Oh, we're fucked.
oh, you have no fucking idea.
Yeah, no, I don't know the context of what he's saying. Obviously, you might have a bit more context as older players.
If you have any questions, I can give you some.
What work is he deeming heretical? That's the big thing.
He used to be a puritanical inquisitor. And he eventually found out that he needs to become more and more radical in order to basically drag out the truth, because all of our enemies know how a puritanical inquisitor would operate, so they know exactly how to hide it. However, ancient Xenos that we have spoken with, keep in mind, this is you as a player. You can decide how much as your character you would know.
Yeah.
Maybe through rumors or otherwise. We have found more and more that the so-called heretic called the Ruli was more and more making sense. We know that the Inquisition and the Eldar had something to do with the original sin, as it were. We found out that if we were to operate as any emperor-fearing inquisitorial acolytes, we would either die, be found out, and then die, or we would face a lot of dead ends by asking hard questions and using a lot of subterfuge and really heinous actions that the ecclesiarchy wouldn't consider appropriate. We would actually find a real proof. The Inquisitor himself is appalled by this course of action, but it noticing more and more results and how much the government, the sector government, is corrupt. He is very torn between, operating with his morals and operating,
Yeah.
without them.
Yeah.
And now we are at the point where the Inquisition itself, this is like the last sledge. They will most likely bury everything. However, according to the evidence we have garnered so far, Askellon seems the only place where we could find a way to stop the pandemonium, that being the warp storm which threatens to swallow the entire sector. That's why a player, I don't know who, but he was a mini-storm that worked alongside us, said, "We shall burn the incense of our innocence, and innocence will thrive." Which I found it to be quite fitting.
Yes.
Anything else that I could feed you?
No,
information about?
that is useful for the moment. For the
Yeah.
time being.
What's up?
He's just giving me a bit of lore dump to go to help with this exposition that's happening.
From what you would know of the other acolytes present here, Hector, of course, is an interrogator. He has been here the longest and has the most influence. He's also an ardent supporter of the Inquisitor, no matter what the Inquisitor demands. Llewellyn is a throne agent. She has been operating under Caster Typh, I would say from the first band that started this investigation. She's a veteran and an ardent believer of the Emperor. He considers the Inquisitor to be the cure for Askellon given by the Emperor. Very supportive. Jericho de Silva is a prime, also member of the first band, the first war band.
Jericho's there too.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, Jericho is next to Tetricus.
Jericho is a
fucker.
very, very good infiltrator. He doesn't support the Inquisitor. He supports him as much as an acolyte would, but he cares more about the acolytes themselves than the Inquisitor's agenda. He tries.
That was good. Go on.
Yeah, I'm just presenting the NPCs.
It's awesome.
kind of phases through reality, as he mentioned.
He's basically
Jericho is an ass.
no.
What?
Jericho is as human as
You
they
love
can.
You love Jericho.
Jericho is the embodiment of man.
Sorry. I Duskin them.
Jericho is the embodiment of a man that has taken upon himself heavy burdens, and let's just say that he has not been left unscarred by his duties. He has been here and supported all the acolytes from the first warband to present, and he has seen many die. Most of the time, he would, due to the nature of his work, he would be unable to assist them, and every time he would meet acolytes, he would see less and less familiar faces. Detritus is Detritus is a simple acolyte. He's the Gardor, as it were. He is basically as lovable as an ordering and just as terrifying as an ordering.
Yeah, he is the man who you're like, right, there's no need for us to be subtle anymore, kick the fucking doors down and drag the governor by his hair.
Exactly. If things go sideways, Detritus may not be the commanding officer, but you know that he's the one leading the assault from the front.
Mm-hmm.
He is the hammer of the Inquisitor, and what he deems to be
highly offensive.
And whatever he deems worthy of being removed, Detritus will be there to help in their eviction as quick as possible. That doesn't mean he's not smart. Smart. He has an understanding of the finer things. He will not go across boundaries. If he is to remain hidden, he will infiltrate the common populace. He will not attract any attention to him. He is, after all, an acolyte.
Yeah. Okay. This to sum it up, this is the group of acolytes that have survived through the years. I've had lots of players, lots of NPCs. There are tons of acolytes that died and fell away.
We're looking at the level 100 World of Warcraft characters.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
These are the guys that survived. The few that survived. These are not static NPCs that I've just made like a static thing. These are actual survivor acolytes from the game that we have played. All right. The Inquisitor is going to again stand there and answer a few questions. And speaking of, he's talking about Lord Durilli, how they persecuted his followers, burnt them to the ground. Durilli wrote the text that is the origin of your search for the Forbidden World. He wrote that the lineage of the prefect goes back to the founding of this sector, and that they have some dirty sin on their hands that caused the pandemonium. He will look out the windows and look back to you. Perhaps something on the Forbidden World, should we find it, will reveal exactly how the prefect abandoned humanity. I task you with finding it. It is our only chance.
We won't be the only ones looking for it, sir.
He will sort of raise an eyebrow and look up to the balcony. Oh yes. You passed the screening. You are loyal. Good. You can see his eyes wandering and he's got a grade over. If you choose to join me, we will not be able to scrutinize other members of the Inquisition, as we have abandoned our edict in hope of the greater good of mankind.
Well, in that case, I request and demand first boat, first wave.
The interrogator will look disappointed. He's blushing completely red as he's standing there closing his eyes, and you can hear him breathing heavily. You demand to be sent first?
We wish to communicate swiftness in this investigation. Before we arrived on this ship, we were tasked by our Mechanicus ally, pointing towards the Mechanicus, whose names I've fucking forgotten again, because his name was...
Marco di Corpum, don't worry.
Marco di Corpum.
He's right underneath you. There.
Yeah, but he doesn't have his name, so I don't know. So
you don't see his name?
Yeah, I don't see his name.
You don't see his name?
No.
It's displayed.
Okay, no, wait.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Yes.
Okay. There we go. Yeah. So, after we were given our objectives by Samakri before we extricated to this vessel, we were able to infiltrate the corridors of the Navis nobility, and we were able to record a meeting that they had before this expedition was set out. If you would, and he proffers the picked corder to be installed into the cogitator bank in the center, we were able to record them speaking openly amongst each other about their plans to secede from Imperial control once we have passed through the threshold. They plan to use their connections with one another, as well as the potential connections they may have with other elements we, as of yet, do not know, to oust any form of Imperial authority and make whatever it is on the other side their own personal state of control. In order to achieve this as well, there were talks of them searching as a combined effort themselves for the origins of the pandemonium. We are not the only ones looking for its source. The navigators are directly opposed to us. All of them. Every single house, sir. The elements that may have remained loyal were killed in their quarters or have been swayed to their cause.
As I was saying,
the Inquisitor will stand there and wobble back and forth, listening to this.
I would like to be first fine. Ensure are told. Also, in regards to that, I would like to send a message.
I have heard enough. The Inquisitor will lay a hand on Kane's shoulder. Has this been stored in the record? The Archconfessor will nod and look over to you. Yes! It happened recently. I'm afraid I haven't had time to brief you yet. The Inquisitor will look across the table. Legate, are they qualified to represent the Inquisition and the Holy Orders? As Zaul walks across the floor, any of you can do a influence test. Flat. You can choose who does it.
Yeah, I got enough.
I'll attempt it. I'll use a fate point.
Wait,
I would use 2 fate points just to make sure that we pass.
I got no to give you, dude.
Yeah. I have to divide it by 2, so give me a second.
Okay.
Apologies. Alright,
So
I got it. So a faith point to increase it by half, and another faith point for a plus 10.
Mhm.
Round it up or down, Mortal?
Round
It's up to you.
Always up.
Success with 4.
Sick. He's an administratum, so he can use his fellowship instead of influence.
Nice.
If anyone is wondering. Adam, how have you been spreading the word of your accomplishments? And, yeah.
Adam had to do little in regards to this. Adam has been in the Inquisition for a long time. It's been 9 years since he was being indoctrinated, and 5 years he has been running alongside many warbands. When a warband needed new identities, Adam was there. He was equipped like them. He was acting like said identities, and whenever a warband needed support to assume them, they would already have them ready. Adam and his group were never on the front line, but within the administratum, within the Arbites, him and his group were hard at work, ensuring the prying eyes fall on other people instead of the warbands, ensuring that they are safe. He and his group will not be able to protect them from bullets, but he would protect them from the scrutinizing gaze of the authorities and of the enemy. Many acolytes who are versed in subterfuge thank the humble personnel and acolytes such as Adam. They seek no glory, nor are they in position to do so, but they know they are alive due to their hard work.
So Adam has been walking around planting reports and even talking to crew members. There is no doubt that this has reached Saul. As he walks across the floor, he does a single nod. Yes, I believe they are qualified. All of them. Their feats are remarkable for the short amount of time they have been in the Inquisition. Some of them. He looks up to you with just a single nod. The Inquisitor will grab the table with both hands, rest on it. I will lay a plan. And we will see. I have much to consider. As this holographic shape appears, the ship will glide slowly into a shimmering blue, almost liquid essence. The Inquisitor will sort of startled look to the bridge as alarms start to flash. Red lights fill the room, and you can hear a mechanical voice saying to brace. The Inquisitor will walk over to a table, to a chair, and sit down, and everyone here will get strapped into their seats. I'm assuming you guys want to do the same.
Of course. Adam will search for the nearest seat and fasten himself in. He will look at the thing and look at the windows as the shutters begin to enclose upon the windows and say, "It seems like the ship is about to enter warp travel. Although I don't remember warp portals being blue."
The
Makes no difference. Defend the Inquisitor.
The Inquisitor will sit in his chair, and you can hear moaning of pain from him, as if he's under assault by whatever warp essence there is here. Again, several people will be tending to him as you slowly are swallowed up by the energy, and the ship starts to shake. You will slowly drift into this strange orb, and then everything around you just turns into multicolored, strange shapes that sort of fly by. Even the room is filled with these little flying pigments, like little Tinkerbells in the air, popping in and out of existence. You can see these wires hanging like vines from the ceiling starting to shake, monitors shaking. A cogitator will fall over, make a lot of noise. The whole ship is shaking as you start to fly through the warp. The Inquisitor will get up after a little while. The ship will calm down and everyone sort of unstraps from their seats. The Inquisitor is exhausted. You can see the hair hanging from down into his face as he's carried away by his servants. The only thing left are the acolytes, who are sort of standing around the room, talking to each other. What do you want to do?
It's not long for this world.
Adam
Correct
will
me if I'm wrong.
think you should say this out loud with some of the people around here. I would then turn to Tin. Tin, this could prove a fruitful opportunity. Try engaging in conversation with some of the acolytes here. They hold much sway between the assets that the Inquisitor possesses. Mayhaps making friends with them can
Our Inquisitor is our lord.
indeed, but making friends with them will surely assist us further. Tin, I am certain your modus operandi, let's call it. As you may not be as charming as a noble would put it, but you got a spirit.
Thanks. I could. I don't know. He'll have his own medical personnel. Quick question, GM. As I do have, due to my background, due to my homeworld as Demon World, I do actually have a tick in Cynicians. Would I be able to sense if there was still a presence that's sort of attacking the Inquisitor even as he left?
Very good. Do a Cynicians test.
Sure.
You get a -10 on that.
Sure.
Due to the environment being difficult.
I'll use my inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
No, nothing.
You sense an overwhelming presence of the warp, but you can't really make out any individual essences.
Yeah, it's more of a sort of background, kind of hairs on the back of the neck thing rather than trained. I don't know. We've clearly got problems before we've even got coming out here. I'll be honest, for both of you, I think by the looks of things, we're on the back foot, no matter what. I don't think that it'd be a good idea for us to piss off any of these people, as I don't think that there are going to be many friends of once we're on the other side. We're going to have to be looking on our backs every single time, every single moment for a potential target. We don't need to start causing troubles. I can talk to whoever. I've already spoken to the Confessor after Ricard had his...
So what?
After you angered him.
I didn't anger him.
You did. You frustrated him with your differences of opinion with Imperial Creed, and you interrupted his sanctity. You angered him within his own chapel. I was there.
His problem.
No, it's our problem. He was right next to the Inquisitor. So, either he is a peer considered by the Inquisitor, or at the very least he is considered part of the senior staff. It doesn't matter if he didn't actively shout you down, but he did admonish you for your behaviors. If you can't see that, then I can't help you with that. I talked to him,
If you cannot see, I need to stand vigil over my friend, and what use are you?
It doesn't matter what the reasoning is. If Adam is correct, we're playing a political game. And whilst I'm sure you have your reasons for standing vigil over a fellow comrade, as is your right to do so, we can't allow these pains, these grievances that this universe has put onto our backs to affect our ability to work with anyone else. I have experienced what happens when you are alone in a place which wants you dead. And if we can avoid that by, at the very least, keeping on good terms, working terms, it does not mean that we need to be friends, but if we can ensure that they have our back when the time comes, then I would appreciate it. This isn't the army anymore. There isn't a specific feeling of camaraderie. I mean, you've made that obvious, and everyone around us has made it obvious. I was treated like a prisoner when I was first into this organization. We have to work to make sure that we keep the bonds between us alive. We can't let...
Is no bond.
Then I mourn you.
We are individuals. We fight for the Emperor. We all die alone.
Then if you wish to live alone as well...
Do you not understand this?
I do. And if you wish to live alone as you would die alone, then that is your prerogative. I'm not going back to that. I spent too long on that world, being hunted, with no one around me to help. And now I have an opportunity. I have you, I have Adam, I have whoever else we may be able to get on our side. I'm not going into this alone anymore. If I do that, then I will lose it, as I did on that planet. And I'm not going to let that happen.
How did you lose it?
Voices. Hearing things outside of the explorator van. Needing to sustain myself on things I would not want to bring up. Having to learn languages that still fill my head with whispers of things that I shouldn't know, just so that I could live through the next day.
Across the room, you will see Llewellyn start to walk up the stairs. She has been completely hidden until she appears.
Tim will go, just go, kind of shut up.
She looks severely jaded. Her face is sort of contorted. She's got pale, sharp eyes, a huge scar on her face, and she looks very battle-hardened. She will just walk up the stairs slowly while whispering. A quality we will need.
Sorry, I didn't catch.
Your pain has not been for naught. It has given you invaluable qualities. What languages do you speak?
I know Low Gothic, my lady. I know of the Imperial Guard clothes, although a rudimentary understanding, as I was not officially taught them. And and I know how to decipher runes.
At this, she will raise an eyebrow and sort of look down at your boots and up again. I decrypted parts of Derillis' tome. It was written in the language of symbols, the markings of chaos. Some of the cult members use that language. I've never been able to read it myself, but I believe your skill will be required soon if we meet more of the cult members. She looks severely hurt, at least mentally. She just stares at you deep in the eyes. She has no facial expression whatsoever. You'll be of use to us. I'm sure of it.
Thank you, my lady. I will endeavour to do so. Please be aware that I only know the most rudimentary of those things. I had to in order to know where to go and where not to go when I saw them. I am not fluent in them.
She will nod, look at the rest of you and say, I am fluent in Eldari. As you know, they use gestures. A slight movement of the eye could indicate deep meaning. Their language is more complex than ours. I am also familiar with Technolingua. I know much of Archaeotech and the Warp. Should you require my skills, I will be available for you, as my warband has died.
May the Emperor protect their souls on their journey to him.
She looks to you and completely without any expression will just turn around, walk back down the ramp.
Why do I feel like I had a knife in my throat just then?
That's because you probably did.
The rest
Point
of the
being-
acolytes will be free. Oh, sorry, you were talking.
Yeah, it's just to finish off.
Mm.
Point being, Ricard, people here can help us. Maybe we can figure out how to do that. I'm sure there'll be plenty around who will appreciate your form of candor, as will others appreciate mine and Adam's.
Perhaps we'll see who is the most abundant in their crop. I say 10 thrones.
All right, 10 thrones. Sounds like an idea.
Good. We shall see who gets the most to their banner.
I guess 2-0 so far. You've got a bit of catching up to do.
Do I? I don't know. Seems like 1-1 to me.
We'll see. I'll look at Adam. You on my side, Adam?
Sure.
That's 2-1. I'm amazing at this.
There's 2 thrones. On my side,
Don't take it personal. According to the data acquired up until now, I would have more thrones on.
as he slides his bolt pistol out of his holster.
Maybe not here, maybe not in here. Even in jest, I don't think that a lot of these people would appreciate weapons drawn.
So, Adam, my side or his?
You know, I feel like betting isn't really sponsored by the Divinitatis, by the Leche Divinitatis. Maybe it'll be neutral, yes?
Take a step back and just watch the thrones. Yes?
Yes.
Well, come on. We wouldn't want to lose now, would we?
I've spoken to... Actually, I'll go to Kane again, since I've already had a talk with him before.
Kane is reading something on the table. As you approach him, he and Saul will be looking across what looks like a theoretical battlefield as he raises his head when you approach.
Archconfessor, I'm glad to see you here. I wasn't expecting to see you so soon.
He will smile, and you can see a little glimmer of energy and enthusiasm in his eyes that you didn't see when he was in his study. It is good to see you as well. I trust that you are the note taker for your group. You are gifted.
I learned to take notes as many things as I can. Not looking at the details has caused a few people I know to not last very long.
Knowledge is power, and there isn't much to remember. We may encounter Xenos, horrible witches, traitors. You must keep your wits about you at all times.
Yes.
He looks... yeah.
My lord, you were next to the Inquisitor when he was... apologies again for the ignorance, but performing whatever it was he was doing to glimmer some small shreds of information for us. If he is indisposed, and if he is like this, will we need to act independently without his authority?
He kind of corrects his suit, and you can see that he gets a little bit uncomfortable at this. He going to raise his eyebrows as if baffled. Just look down at the table. Oh, the Inquisitor is quite capable. While his body has been hardened, perhaps weakened, his mind is sharp as ever. I would know. I have been there. He gives you an ominous glare. I have pierced into the Inquisitor's mind. He is the same man I met so many decades ago. His faculties are all still there. It is his shell, his bodily form that is weakened, not his will or his mind.
I understand. It is gratifying to hear that the will behind our actions is as great as it was when I first arrived. I had not had the pleasure of meeting the Inquisitor before, so I have very little to go off of.
He, with a sharp glimmer in his eyes, will look over your shoulder at the rest of your warband. Kind of speaking up a little bit. Yes, we all know that the Inquisitor has been brought back from the abyss. Everyone in the room kind of looks in that direction. His pulse, the warmth in his skin, they serve as reminders of the Emperor's powers. That is all you can glean from his present state. He is still with us, as powerfully as ever. He looks very confident as he says this.
Am I able to glean the responses as he's very clearly either trying to convince himself or the other people who may have. So I want to kind of try and glean what people are thinking.
Zol is completely neutral, zero feelings. Llewellyn just has her intense, determined stare as always. Tetricus has a big old smile on his face, kind of tapping his low stick. Seems very happy from hearing this. Jericho as well has a slight encouraging smile. You can see sort of the stars in his eyes as he looks back up at you, nods. Hector Dents has a he's kind of straightened up, and you can just see a sense of affirmation on his face, like he always knew what Kane is saying, but finally someone said it out loud.
And Rickard will, having heard from what he called Duskin, will be dubious.
The room will get so quiet, and Kane will slowly walk over to the side of the railing. As I have told you, you can come join me in prayer if you wish to meet your friend. If not, you can speak with Archon. Alright, what do you guys do? You still have a little time to linger, talk to various people? Do you just want to have a general chat with people or something?
I'm sort of slowly going through the room at the moment. I guess I want to. Yeah, the overall objective is just seeing like what people's plans are for going through. You know, it feels like sort of we've given even more information and more enemies for the Inquisition to have to deal with very few resources. So I kind of want to see what people's like plans and objectives are.
You can do a general inquiry test.
Ah, yes, I'm so good at that.
If you appear Inquisition, you get a bonus.
$92.
You walk around and try to talk to people. They kind of ignore you. You like walk up to two people having a conversation and they just talk past you.
It's not just that, but these are trained acolytes, so they betray very little in their planning.
Yes. Anyone else want to try mingling with the crowd?
I will try to mingle with Jericho. I would invite thin as after he finishes speaking with the confessor.
Jericho is leaning up against the table. As you approach, Tetricus will slowly walk over to the table as well. Hey there.
As well, Commissar Ricard.
Yep. Jericho is just reaching out to shake your hand.
Adam will eagerly take his hand and shake it and say, "Oh, you must be Primus Jericho. I'm a big fan of yours."
Yeah. I don't care so much for titles, but my name is Jericho da Silva. Former member of the Navy. Loyal servant of the Inquisition. Well, maybe you heard I served your predecessors before the event.
I'm certain that things went well.
He will sort of give a kind of exhausted groan. Now you're probably thinking of someone else. Things did not go well, to say the
And
least.
if he actually looks at Ricard, we'll see basically his eyes are just pure hate.
As you approach, he sort of tilts his head to the side, gives a slight nod of as you approach, and just stand there in a disarmed pose.
Adam will turn to Tin. He has the look of a man that stepped on a landmine and doesn't know how to proceed.
I was just speaking to the Archconfessor about our current situation. It didn't really look like that news had gotten to him just yet about the navigators. It certainly feels like we're a bit on the back foot when it comes to what we're gonna have to do when we're on the other side.
He tilts his head over to the other side. I read the report. Well done. I guess that's the reason why you're here. But about going first. I think I've had my share of going first. As you know, the custom in the warband is to select one or two members of the acolytes in the room, and they'll join you. You can choose me, but I don't know how much good I would be. I'm a pilot. That's about all.
Piloting's always good. I didn't quite realize what was happening here. I thought that we were going to give our report, and well, I thought someone was going to tell us what to do. It certainly feels like most of the people here outrank us at the very least. It's been rather eye-opening.
Yeah. Again, sorry about the lack of organization. I guess in a different time would be all gathered up in our little groups according to our hierarchies. But the Inquisitor, or at least the Inquisitor as we know him now, he seems to value loyalty, experience, skill. He doesn't care much for rank anymore. If you prove your worth, you'll be as good as any of us.
At this point in time,
This man is not worth anything. That's right, Jericho. I have seen you. I have measured you. You are worthless.
Jericho will look over to Tetricus, who is getting up from his chair just as you say that, and will storm over to you. Hi. That's the Prime you're talking to.
I know who I'm talking to.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry for what he said.
He will grab your arm really, really firmly. It hurts.
You
it's okay.
caused the death
Let him
of
go.
my friend.
Let him go, Tetricus. And Tetricus is going to let go, but put a foot between you and Jericho. I'm sorry, I'm not really following what's happening right now. Did you just accuse me of killing my comrades?
Ran away.
He's gonna look at Saul, who's started to approach the crowd. Right. I think there might have been a mistake here. He's going to pull out a data slate and start to flick through it.
I don't care about your data slates. I don't care about anything else. I know what I've been told from informants, shall we say. We are not friends.
He's gonna just keep looking at you. Light a low stick. Just sort of stand there leaned up against the table. Oh. How do you guys know each other?
Would you believe that we were put in a room and then shot at for a few minutes?
Standard procedure. Well, I don't have any reason to doubt any of you or your loyalty, so that's all I need to know.
Look, I don't know why Ricard is insisting that we slam our heads against the wall. If you don't feel well, if Ricard here doesn't want you on the team, and you yourself said you don't want to go first, then I will respect that decision. I think Adam and, well, Ricard seems like he would be more than happy to not have you here, so if we have to pick who's going to be with us on the Vanguard, then rest assured that we won't put you in the line of danger that if you don't wish for it.
He's gonna nod and has a slight smile on his face. He looks across the room at you, Ricard. What report did you read? Whose report did you read?
Many reports.
Where's this accusation coming from?
You have met many reports, and you are going to have to answer to her.
Who's her?
Answer. I think answer. I don't know.
Where did you read the report?
Where do you think I read the report?
Where did it say that I killed my comrades? He's gonna say this loud and clear so everyone can hear it.
You ran away. You left them.
go ahead and roll a charm test minus 50 or a intimidate minus 50 as well.
Success with 1.
Sick. Jericho is going to lean back on the table. You can see him sort of biting down on his teeth. Breathing heavily. How the fuck would you know? You weren't there! You didn't see that. You didn't see them die. You didn't hold them as they were drawing their last breath.
Neither did you!
I did. I found them. I knew them for years. We spilled the same blood. I was loyal till the end. And you're never going to accuse me of otherwise, ever again. He's gonna walk over and grab your collar, pushing Tetricus away.
Unhand me now.
I could have you scattered across this ship.
You did not save my friend. My friend died for you, and you did not save him.
And did you? You were there. Did you save him?
I wasn't there.
You were on the ship. I knew him for years. I laid down my life for him. I signed a contract to give up my life. I could have left him there, but I joined. I didn't care if I lived or died. That's the truth. And if I was there, I would have traded my life for theirs. He's going to grab your collar, and you can tell a very genuine determination in his eyes.
Unhand me now.
He has a frown on his face as he's visibly shaken. He's going to let go of your collar. I don't know who promoted you or how you got here, but you don't know the first thing of what's going on here. You don't know who we are or what we do. You better be highly competent to talk to me like that. And I'll find out.
You better be highly competent. Also, if any one of my friends die, and you are responsible to get their bodies back. Do you understand?
He is going to push you away and just like smile in disbelief as he's looking at your friends. What? What is this?
Tin puts his hands up and walks back like, I'm not part of this. Whatever this is.
Yeah, he's just gonna keep smiling in disbelief. Do an opposed fellowship test. Rickard.
I don't think there's much point in that, to be honest.
This is to see your sway with the rest of the group as you bring up this topic.
Okay.
Well,
It's like success with one.
Yeah, no, he's but, Jericho is a lot of charm and sway in this room.
Yeah, I thought so.
You can see the rest of the acolytes just looking at you in pure disgust. Like you can sense the hatred in the room. All directed at you. Tetricus is just towering over you. He has a power fist that he has clinched, and he's just staring you dead in the eyes. At this point, you will hear Cain sort of shouting. What is going on over there? Are you arguing?
It is a discussion.
Jericho is gonna walk away. What do you do, guys?
Tin's just got his hands over his mouth, like you know that's kind of like almost like entirely like covering his face with his hand, but he's just got his eyes poking through, so he's like, oh fuck, what's just happened? We've just made an enemy of everyone in this room.
Adam just goes to Tin and gives him the 20 thrones. I think it's obvious who won.
So that's what a Pyrrhic victory feels like.
You get an inspiration point, Ricard. And the rest of you, you stand there for a while, feeling the awkwardness of the room. Everybody just giving you the stink eye. And they seem to like Adam and you, Tin. You have some sway with the Archconfessor. He'll talk to you whenever you walk over to him. But Ricard, you feel properly frozen out.
All right, let's go speak to. Let's go speak to Samakri, Zul, and Hector. Actually, no, not Hector. Hector won't be.
Yeah. Samakri at this point is talking to a couple of other tech priests. He is a senior in the organization of the tech priests on the ship. A former Magos. He will turn around and acknowledge your presence.
It is good to see you again, Samakri. I thought that I would be able to catch you before this little meeting was finished, as you did try to provide us as much information as you could at that rather inopportune moment early.
Samakri will turn around, his red robe flowing behind him. He's carrying a giant metal device with buzzing lights on his back. Out of his hood you will see two cones appearing instead of eyes, and a series of wires connected to this mask. And a rebreather, some red lights under his collar, and it seems to be scanning his surroundings at all times. As you approach, he sort of taps his throat. Never mind. I will deal with it later. Go to your stations. The two tech priests will scatter. Yes. Pleased to meet you. However, it was disturbing to witness the theatrics of your friend.
Yes, I'm starting to realize that Commissar Rickard is a very unique individual who very clearly wishes for his opinion to be made and for his will to be met. It would be commendable if he wasn't so loud about it.
Very well then. He kind of wobbles back and forth. as you interact with him, you can tell that he's not very good at meeting you in conversation. But he'll answer any questions.
Yeah. I apologize for not being able to speak Technolingua. I was going to have the Bionic installed, but it turns out that wasn't going to be my future as part of the Mechanicus.
I already knew you did not speak my language when you approached. I have read all of your files.
Good. It is the files which I wish to speak of. I assume that you have read the details that Adam and who is missing at the moment, and Rapanzas managed to collect with regards to the Mechanicus elements that we interacted with aboard the space station.
Yes, I have read them. A worrying change of situations, to be sure. I only wish that Cas Plautus was here, the Genitor Major of Serix Magnus. He was an expert in these matters.
Yes, it is unfortunate that even the Mechanicus has suffered under the treachery of the Navigators. But
we have suffered more deeply than you know. Perhaps you have heard of... You can see that he's disturbed as he says this, and he looks over his shoulder. The extermination of the tech priests from Serix Magnus at the hands of the Navigators.
I remember it being talked of during the meeting. It was ghastly to think that they would go to such lengths.
Those mutated abominations went against everything we hold holy. If only their brethren knew. But I have no doubt that they indoctrinate and lie to their own brethren about what they have done to us.
It's clear that they consider you merely fuel for the fires of their own ambition. It is what I wish for you to talk about, because I understand that Commissar Rickhart may not appreciate your services, considering his own biases against the Mechanicus, and he makes his own biases very clear. But I wanted to assure you that myself and Adam can at the very least say that we appreciate your services, especially considering how few of the Mechanicus allies we can trust upon in this mission.
His eyes will wander individually back and forth across the room and back to you as he processes how to reply. I appreciate the flattering gesture.
It's not mere flattery. At this point in time, I think that it's safe to say that you might be the only member of authority that we can trust in the Imperium on this endeavor. I'm not trying to be your friend, but we have to realize that, well, I think you might be considered to be as popular as a Forge Father.
He will go into a deeper conversation, and you spend a few minutes talking to him back and forth, trying to oil his machinery, and you can do a lore test for either tech or Mechanicus, and you get a bonus if you have pair.
Hey!
Sick. He, at the end of it, you can see him buzzing with energy and excitement. He will go on and on about the presence of the data loom and how the others don't seem to feel it, they can't sense it. But you can sense it, if not in the air, then at least in the fabric of the intricacies of the knowledge, and how this has been and is being carefully planned and laid out. So Macrocorpum kind of presents this case that through the data loom you can learn the optimal approach, whether it is encountering Xenos or any other race, through applying statistics of previous encounters and how they would have approached the alien. As you finish the conversation, you can roll a d5. You add 5 to your influence.
Ooh.
The tech priests on board can provide, as they're in charge of the armory and much of the ship. And having friendly relations to Sumakri will be a lot of help.
I'll end the conversation with, we will, I at the very least, I'm sure Adam will attest, we will work as hard as we can to not only try and re-establish the respect and responsibilities of the Mechanicus on this venture, but we will avenge those who the Navis nobility have so brutally and so callously killed in their disgusting acts of heresy.
I and the Omnisci appreciate your willingness to aid us. If only your predecessors were as understanding. You can see a sort of fibble with the data slate as he turns around and just awkwardly walks away.
Alright. Okay. That's him on board.
Nice. Yeah, no. You'll walk around the room and you can basically, if you want to learn anything about anyone else, you can just feel free to roll.
The only ones, yeah.
Roll an inquiry test.
Oh, that went so well last time.
Wouldn't they be more open to it? Oh, God, they will not. No matter how open they would be. Most likely, they would most likely tell you, but you're thinking, is this a code phrase?
Yeah. I'm just like, oh god, it's like going the complete opposite direction with what Raikon was doing. Like with the Mechanicus, like I was with the Mechanicus previously. I know how to act and talk to Mechanicus. Other people, it's difficult, and like with Raikon making everyone like acolytes with Raikon, and I don't like it. I'm just like, oh no, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll leave. Yeah, I'll leave. It's just I can't do it. Nice. I can't handle the awkwardness.
Awesome, you get an inspiration point, and no, unfortunately, everyone has kind of had enough of all the drama, and eventually people will start to leave the room. Kane will tell you on the way out that you have he and Saul have had a conversation, and they've accepted that you go first down to the world if you arrive at it, and you can choose which of the crew you would like to have with you. Yes.
Right.
And
oh, so I didn't even get the hit on Llewellyn. Oh.
You have a little more time, but unless you get a nat 1, I'm pretty sure she's gonna ignore you.
Ooh.
Go ahead and roll a fellowship.
Fishing for that nat 1.
Yeah, you never know.
Boom.
Oh god, I saw one there. I was worried for a second. No. You are absolutely ignored until the meeting ends. The door will open. The two...
What a bitch.
Yes, the consequences of my own actions. How dare she?
You go over and try to charm her at first, and then she just ignores you. And you go, you fucking bitch. Really
I'm a nice guy, why can't you see it?
You said it.
Fantastic. Well,
You know what? In real life, I have a wife. Fuck you.
Alright, you're gonna leave the room with Kane, finally, and walking through the hallways, you'll hear an alarm. And Kane will come over the microbead to all of you. As you hear his voice, you will hear him say, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. But why didn't I him? Because not like
He will audibly say, not you.
Yes, reading you loud and clear.
There has been an anomaly in the docking vessel of Warband Zeta. In the lower levels, it's probably nothing, but their specialized warp vessel arrived soon after yours. It seems that some anomaly has occurred on their journey through the perilous warp. They have failed to report after docking, and the crew are silent. Could you resolve the problem?
As you command.
Good. He will swiftly end the connection, and you will be given some coordinates.
Are we continuing on for much longer? Because
Nope.
yeah,
That is
okay. Okay. Awesome.
As you begin to wander down into the lower levels of the ship, that is exactly where we're going to end it, because continuing now would take too long. So I don't want to start something we can't end.
Oh no, it's a ship full of spawn.